Nothing is more inspiring than seeing a successful young woman balance the complexities of academics and dominating the world of sport. And our guest this morning has done so in a multitude of ways. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to introduce to you Lalenii Grant, athlete, academic, and this morning, the person in our spotlight. Lalenii, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Welcome to the Now Morning Show, and thank you for being exceptional.
Thank
She's
you.
blushing and so modest because, to give a little bit of insight, you have been breaking records for quite some time now. I think the earliest, or the most recent one rather, would be this year, where you broke the record for and now hold the national junior record in the girls under 20 discus. Correct?
Yes.
This was happening after having placed second in the Caribbean in Cape Law Unit 2. So let's jump right into the meat of the matter of how you're balancing sports and academics. What is Miss Grant's formula thus far?
Okay, I'll list it out. First is putting God at the center of it all, having Him directing me on everything, going into prayer, strengthening our relationship. Two is prioritizing. I prioritize athletics and academics and trying to keep it on the same balance beam and not let that scale tip basically. So anytime something happened where I'm focusing more on sports and I feel like I'm dropping back in academics, I pull up myself immediately. Third is time management. I have to make sure that everything is on par. Fourth one is my support system. My mom, especially, she ensures that I have everything that I need, particularly during the CSEC and K preparation times. I don't have any chores but to wash my clothes and keep my room tidy. She ensures to provide me sufficient meals, fruits, water, anything. Also, my friends, they always uplifted me, kept me in a positive light. My coach as well, he always instilled in us that there will be a life after sports and you will need something to fall back on. So make sure your studies up to date. My
Beautiful.
teachers as well, both at Harmons and Scarborough Sec, they played a huge role. They always ensure that I have all the books I needed. If I wasn't so strong in a topic, they would pull me up on it, help me. Yeah.
I like that you have a solid formula. I genuinely didn't expect you to be able to list, but it definitely means that it's tried and true. You know exactly how you're able to get there. But granted, that coach reminds you that there is a life after sport. Let's talk about life before it. Because what would have probably come first would have been the academics. You were in school and perhaps introduced to sport. How did that happen? Which came first?
School first. Although I
Okay.
was playing sports like since primary school days, it wasn't anything too serious. It was until I was going to Harmons, and I think around third form in 2018, um, I went to buy spikes, and I met a guy there, and he was telling me, "Oh, I should join a track and field club," and he mentioned Mercury and got in contact with them. I first started off as a sprinter, and then I was introduced to throws, which I fell in love with, so I stayed there.
Now, granted that academics were the priority first, what sorts of tips or transitionary methods you used to be able to, as you say, strike that balance? Was there more of a
Mhm.
scheduling situation? Were there some hobbies that had to be dropped? How do we transition, so to speak?
No, it was just me being dedicated and wanting both. So I tried hard at both until I eventually developed a schedule that worked for me.
Beautiful. Now, granted that we are still looking at academics being a priority, tell me a little bit about the process of managing not just that second place, but then the scholarship in modern studies. What does that mean for your future academics? What are we going to major in, or college-wise? Do we have those plans in place already?
I want to continue with law when I go to university and business as well. I also love sociology, so I don't know where that is going to fit in, but yes.
Little miss overachiever, but I feel that you can accomplish it. You have an
Yeah.
absolute solid plan. And one of the interesting parts of your support system that you mentioned was actually your friends. You specifically said
Hmm.
that they give you a lot of positive reinforcement. And I
Yeah.
wonder, in terms of your balancing school and being so successful at both school and sport, at any point, were your friends perhaps intimidated or even expressed being inspired by you directly to you?
No. To me, I am always a person that willing to help. So it's never a problem for me to like share the limelight in a sense.
Right.
So I always willing to help them. We help each other, keep each other positive, tell each other, hey, you're slacking here, you need to pull up here, you know? So that has always been us. Always been surrounded by good people.
And tell me a little bit about the people in the club at Mercury, because it seemed like it was your very first choice. There was no other option almost.
Hmm.
And I wonder if that was because of the persons there, because of accessibility. What led to that commitment to Mercury?
It felt more like a family rather than just a club. And I always love that, especially like even when choosing to go to Harmons. I first decided that I wanted to go Harmons when I was like 7 years old. My eldest brother was graduating from there. And when I went to the graduation and I saw how the teachers were interacting, how the students were moving, I love that sense of family. So I always look for that in any organization I go to. So I got that sense when I was in Mercury. Also, my coach, Chevron Worrell, he was just, cool. Yeah. So
Cool
I had
Kids
no
Club.
issues.
In terms of the preparation then for that title that you've earned, record-breaking title that is, you would have earned the title for the under 20 discus throwing, and then you also, as you mentioned, represented track and field all the way in Colombia, is it? That would have
Yeah.
taken some preparation and some support from Mercury. So tell me a little bit
Mhm.
about the process towards that win or those wins.
The process was very tedious, I must say. There were some points where I felt like this probably isn't for me and giving up. But then I had to remember that it's not only Lalenii on the line, it's also Mercury, it's also my mom, everybody else behind it. So I kept trying for them, especially with my coach. He ensured that I was prepared. He tried his best, making sure if we had to change the technique and so forth, my mom preparing the meals, um, also the fruits. Everybody else inside the club, they were like, "You're going to do good. Don't stress yourself. Remember your cues," stuff like that.
One of the things we often hear about is that funding is not easy for any sort of international trip or representation. What was that process like for you, Ms. Grant?
Well, financial situation for me hasn't been smooth, but by God's grace, I'm getting through.
Are there any particular brands or even corporate parts of Tobago that have helped you through, perhaps?
No, just family, coach,
So
and the
what I'm
club as well.
hearing is a beautiful opportunity for corporate Trinidad and Tobago to stand behind Lalenii Grant, Lalenii rather, because you are not done. You have the title, and I imagine you will need to defend it, correct?
Yeah. Well, no, for the upcoming season, I'll be in seniors.
Right.
Yeah.
When are we looking at? What is your calendar of events, rather? Because, you've progressed into the seniors.
Hmm. And I'm not sure the scheduling for next year has not come out as yet, so I don't know which games I'll be taking part in. But I could just keep up, look out for it.
I like that.
Yeah.
She said, no, y'all could just keep up and look out. Where would we be able to look? Are we talking social
On
media? Are we
Instagram.
doing a YouTube page? What is coming next?
On Instagram. I want to
Fair.
do a YouTube page, but that wouldn't be no. But yeah, on
Why
Instagram.
not? Anything you try your hand to, you seem to be quite good at. So I say try it. The thing about it
I
is
was,
that you continue to be an inspiration, and I know you've certainly sparked the interest of quite a few persons with a number of things you're able to balance. But a little birdie told me you might have some other hidden talents. Anything you want to share with us this morning in terms of those hidden talents?
Cooking and doing my own hair. I'm branching into that since I have a bit more time on my hands now.
So in terms of those options, does that mean that we might be able to come and get our meals from Lalenii or hair done? Make no
Yes.
dream, but
Yeah.
I like that. And in that case, remind us of the Instagram handle so we can keep abreast of you. And for perhaps corporate Trinidad and Tobago who want to make sure that we can support you as you journey into the seniors of your athletic life, so to speak. How do we find Lalenii Grant?
On Instagram at The Real Duffy, TheRealDuffey.
And before I leave
No
you,
underscores, no dots.
would you mind giving us a little bit of advice, perhaps to your generation specifically? Somebody's looking on, thinking about trying to get into the world of sport, or even just having some struggles with academics. What advice does Lalenii Grant have for them?
First, to plan and be realistic in your planning. Write down all of your goals, the steps you're going to take to achieve them. Just keep in mind that life throws things at you, so it would not go in set order, but you just need to try your best to stick to it. Two, positive affirmations. Don't bring down yourself. Always believe in you first, and you will always be able to achieve. The third one, this is particularly for my persons who are preparing for CSEC and CAPE. This advice in particular has been passed on to me from the Vice Principal of Harmon, SUMAP, to ensure that you keep the syllabus as though it is on the back of your hand. You need to know it. That is the guideline for you at, doing good in CSEC and CAPE, so know it. And it is free on the CXC store, so you could go there and download it.
All right, a solid formula again. I really appreciate you, and I really do look forward to seeing even more success from you. No pressure, but I really do appreciate the inspiration that you provided, not just to persons in the world of sport or academics, but to all of us, Tobago and Trinidad, the Caribbean and the wider world. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Lalenii Grant.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
A pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your morning. And when I come to Tobago, I'll come in fair to do my hair somehow. Figure it out.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lalenii Grant, the athlete, the academic, and the formula boss.
I know saying Lalenii is quite wise.
Beyond her years.
Yeah, I love that she's able to break down, the road to success as practically in 4 or 5 steps. Like, this is what you're going to have to do. It's going to be a lot of work, but you can do it.
And the particularly iconic part for me is like life is going to throw a lot at you. Very, nonchalantly. Life is going to throw a lot at you. And it does.
I was about to say, just last night I was having a conversation with somebody about adulting and just being an adult and the things that you don't expect to happen that do happen, and you just have to
roll with the punches.
Roll with the punches.
But she certainly has a significantly positive mindset. Ultimately, even talking about affirmations and don't bring yourself down. Girl, you know the things. And we appreciate you this morning. We are certainly inspired by you. And you were definitely deserving of shining that spotlight on you. Thank you so much. Of course, we're going to take a break after all that inspiration. And maybe you can get your athletics on in the sport of volleyball. That's what we're talking next on the Now Morning Show.